Welcome in to the Rob Bro Show. I am Rob Bro. He's Carson Robinson. We are the hosts. You are the co-host. You can co-host today by commenting on the Starting Line chat line. The Starting Line chat line brought to you by Starting Line Counseling. We're in the Diversified Lenders Studio. How you doing, Carson?
I'm living the dream, Robbie.
You trying to?
Trying to. That's a fact.
You know who is living the dream? The Texas Rangers, who won again last night, 5-0.
Yeah, 5-0 last. Yeah, 5-0. It was 5-0.
5-0. Evan Carter had a 2-run bomb.
Adolis Garcia went deep again.
Simeon went deep again.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think they went back-to-back. Carter and Simeon.
Yeah, they did. Mm-hmm.
Just absolute power show lately from the Rangers. They hit 6 in a game. They hit 4 in a game, 3 in a game last night. You hope that keeps up. That would be awesome all the way through the playoffs to have just a barrage of home runs. Look like the Braves. You don't have anybody stealing 70 bases, though. Did you see that?
Yeah, Acuna. Ronald Acuna Jr. is the best player in Major League Baseball right now.
A 40-70 season, they just yanks the base out of the ground, holds it up.
Especially after a year where you tore your ACL, it ruined your whole year last year, and then you come back and you do that this year. Like, he's the MVP of the National League, and there's no question about it.
100%.
I think he is. I mean, Ohtani put up great numbers this year, didn't make it through a season. So does he still get MVP nod in the American League? Probably Ohtani does, just because he shut it down with 3 weeks to play, probably. But, man, Ronald Acuna Jr. might take the pedestal. The only reason nobody talks about Acuna in the same way as they do about Ohtani is because he doesn't pitch.
Roy says Corbin Carroll pretty hot right now, too. Yeah, he'll win Rookie of the Year.
Corbin Carroll is legit.
He's a rookie, though, right?
Yeah, got to watch him play when he was in Amarillo.
With the Sod Poodles.
Yeah, with the Saudis.
And then Corbin says Josh Young will hit the home run tonight to clinch the playoff spot I mentioned last week on the Locks of the Week.
That would be cool. That would be really cool.
That would be something.
Yeah, because all you need is one win in Seattle
to host to get a playoff spot.
Yeah,
and you need
you win 2, you win the division. Yeah,
you win the division.
Yep, got to win 2 of your last 4. It can happen, Robbie.
If I told you, what was it when we were down in the dumps 3 weeks ago, that you could win 2 games against Seattle in the final series to win the division, what would you have said? Because the Astros were hot.
Yeah, the Astros are hot. I would have said that the Rangers are going to have to figure some stuff out, and they're going to have to get Josh Young back. And all of that has happened since you lost, 8 straight or 7 straight, whatever it was.
But the Rangers really haven't been good down the stretch. The Astros just were worse.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. When the Rangers were losing in that 7-game, 8-game, stretch, the Astros lost 6 of 8 at the same time. That's when the Mariners were really hot and made their push and got to the top of the division right there. They won 9 or 10 straight. So, yeah, it's and then the Mariners have kind of fallen off here in the last couple weeks. But that sweep at home for the Rangers over the Mariners, I think, deflated Seattle a little bit.
Currently, the Rangers 7-3 in their last 10. The Astros and Mariners both 4-6 in their last 10. The Rangers up to 89-69. Nice. 2.5 games ahead of the Astros, 4 games ahead of the Mariners. And if we take a look at the Blue Jays, they're 87-81. So the Rangers firmly in the playoff space.
Yeah, if you, I'd love to end the season at 93-69. That'd be cool to sweep the Mariners 2 times in the last 2 weeks.
And to get over 90 wins is going to be special.
Yeah, if you would have told me this club would get over 80 wins this year, I would have said you're probably a year away from that, especially after DeGrom got hurt early in the year and all of those things happened. But, man, tell you what, this the Rangers have been a very, very, very pleasant surprise, along with the Baltimore Orioles. They're right up there for, most surprise team of the season for sure. I mean, Baltimore obviously was the worst team in baseball last year, I believe, or at least close to it, one of the top 2 worst teams in baseball. So
worst team in the American League for sure.
For sure.
The Orioles 99-59, the Rays 97-62. Top 2 teams, but you could potentially get the 2nd seed. You could have a bye week.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, if you win the division, you are the number 2 seed going into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Because the AL Central is dog turds bad.
Well, yeah, they are.
And then you look at the NL. I mean, Arizona, they've got a lot to play for this weekend in this series with Houston. This is good for the Rangers. I mean, obviously the Mariners have a lot to play for in this Rangers series. Being at home, that's going to be big for the Mariners. I think that gives them a little bit of a leg up. It's going to be a playoff atmosphere in Seattle this week. Weekend.
They need to win 4.
Who?
The Seattle Mariners.
Right. Yeah, they have to win all 4. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
But they would love to be the ones that make it to where the Rangers don't win the division. I mean, obviously, you like to be spoiler if you can do anything. But Arizona, I mean, they've got a 2-game lead in that second wild card spot. If they lose, if they get swept here by Houston, and then Miami and Chicago both win a couple, then we're looking at a 3-way tie for those 2 wild card spots that are left in the National League, because Philadelphia is obviously going to get the first spot. So, it's a big weekend for both Houston and for the Texas Rangers and for their counterparts in Arizona and Seattle. So it kind of helps the Rangers, I think, that you have Arizona playing for a playoff spot as well, because they're not just going to phone it in like maybe they would if they weren't in the playoffs.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
So the Astros have an off night tonight.
Right.
The Rangers play tonight.
Yeah, because the Rangers have a 4-gamer.
So you can't clinch the division tonight with an Astros loss and a Rangers win. But you can get that magic number to 1 to where it doesn't really matter what you do if you win 1.
Right. Yeah. And obviously the magic number is 2. You win 2, then you win the division. So that's all that you care about for the Texas Rangers. And then Alan just said,
or if the Astros lose 1.
Right. Or if the Astros lose 1. Right. Alan said, any chance Texas wins the division by Friday, so you win the first 2 games of the series and tank on Saturday and Sunday so Houston could miss the playoffs. I would love that as a Texas Rangers homer. But I'd also love to see Houston in the playoffs too. So
I don't really want to play Houston. I've had the Rangers number.
That's true. That's a very good point. But how long can you actually have a team's number before it?
Hey, the Rangers are hot, and that playoff series will be in Texas.
In Texas, yeah. Well, you'd start in Arlington, yeah.
Arlington, yeah.
First 2 in Arlington, and then
the
second 2 in Houston, yeah. Still, home field advantage is big.
Yeah.
Big. And it'd be fun to see it will be cool to see an actual Texas Rangers playoff game in Globe Life Field. Obviously, there's been playoff games. There's been a World Series played at Globe Life Field, but it was the Dodgers and the Tampa Bay Rays. Who cares?
Yeah.
It'll be a electric atmosphere. Globe Life Park was very, very loud in the playoffs. I went to a ton of playoff games there when the Rangers, when Ron Washington was doing his thing. It was one of the most electric atmospheres I've ever been in, other than Death Valley at LSU. That was really, really cool on those nights. But with the dome, with the way that it just gets loud inside of Globe Life Field, I think it just becomes even louder now, and the atmosphere is going to be crazy.
I'll put the roof on there, and
yeah, it'll blow the roof off. Yeah,
they'll probably have it open though, unless there's
yeah. It'll be gorgeous weather outside, I'm sure.
Poncho Loco checking in. Not here for a long time, but it's a good time, so let's go. Belated Power Ranking Wednesday. Best games played last week. Florida State, Clemson. Notre Dame, Ohio State. Air Force, San Jose. I did not watch that one. Honorable mention, LSU, Arkansas. That was
I would switch Notre Dame, Ohio State just because of the way that game ended on the last second with Ohio State. And then Notre Dame had 2 plays in a row. And you still almost kept them out of the end zone. But
what a travesty.
Really was. I don't know, even if you do have 11 on the field, I don't know what big of a difference it makes right there.
They barely scored and they ran where the defensive lineman was supposed to be.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. And how are you a defensive lineman and not in the game?
Because on 3rd and 19, they rushed 3. They had a 3 deep down lineman set. Stupid. Stupid.
Yeah, the ending to that game, Notre Dame just gave it away.
Alan says, I have game 2 ALDS tickets at Globe Life. Rangers better wrap up the division. Hey, that would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
Take pictures.
How many tickets you got?
Eat a boomstick. Yeah. Enjoy it. The Rangers tonight, as we said, playing the Mariners. Just finished the series with the Mariners. Let's see. I thought I had this pulled up. Sorry.
For what?
The pitching matchup.
Tonight it is. I'm on Thursday. Yeah, here we go. I was on Friday's game. I was looking at the pitching matchups as well. It's Gilbert versus Montgomery tonight. You got Jordan Monty going for you. I like that matchup.
I like it. I like Montgomery. That was a good trade.
Yeah, both of these guys. Logan Gilbert's one of those young arms for Seattle. 13-7 with a 3.75 ERA. His whip is just a little bit above 1, which is really, really good. Jordan Montgomery, pretty much the same. ERA is better than Gilbert's. Obviously, that's something that we've talked about in the past. I could care less what your ERA is anymore. The whip numbers are where you really make your money. Montgomery is just a little bit over 1.19. So at 1.19. So, and 182 and 2/3, 184 and 2/3 for Gilbert. So pretty even pitching matchup if you look at the stats. But the way Jordan Montgomery's been throwing the ball, I like Texas's chances here in this one. But you can never count out Seattle at home. Like I said, it's going to be a crazy atmosphere at, T-Mobile Park now there in Seattle.
Can't keep up with all that.
I can't keep up with it.
Whatever it is.
Yeah, Safeco Field is what I call it.
Yeah.
I still call the Astros ballpark Enron sometimes. Yeah.
Calling a Candlestick.
Yeah.
Well, it's not Candlestick anymore.
Yeah.
In San Francisco.
At least the Rangers ballpark is pretty easy. You just call it Globe Life.
Yeah, I still call it the ballpark sometimes.
Yeah, it's still going to be the ballpark. In my mind, the ballpark in Arlington will always be the best Major League ballpark there ever was. But
yeah, for sure. Even though it's hotter than hell.
Yeah, it was so hot. July ball games were smoking hot. When my cousin was playing for the Rangers, just remember sitting out in those seats and just baking. Great tan lines, though. Great tan lines.
Poncho, have a great meeting, man. Have a great meeting. We'll try to have a great day. All right, you ready to make some picks?
Ready when you are.
Any college games that really catch your eye this week?
Yeah, let me go back and look at the list. I had it up here just a second ago.
We may not.
Utah, Oregon State on Friday, tomorrow night. Love this one. Big game for the Beavers to kind of just say, you know what, screw you to everybody that hasn't wanted us, that doesn't want us. Big game from Utah too. You know, Cam Rising was a game time decision last week. They obviously didn't need him in that win. But if Cam Rising comes back, I think Utah has a chance. But Johnson has played pretty well for Utah, so I don't know when Cam Rising does come back. I think the key factor for Oregon State has been DJ Uiagalelei. He's been pretty solid for the Beavers. He still has his turnover woes. He's thrown 3 picks, but with the you just haven't seen that caliber of a quarterback at Oregon State, and they're very well coached. They've been good middle to towards the top of the Pac-12 in their division the last couple of years. They've had guys, they just haven't had a full team and a good quarterback. So,
and apparently it wasn't his fault at Clemson.
Yeah, I guess not. But Clemson didn't look terrible against Florida State. They really made Florida State work for that, and Norvell was lucky to get out of there with a dub last week. That was a tough ball game.
Now they need a new kicker.
Yes, yeah, and Clemson's kicker is a walk-on, and yeah, they had a chance to win the ball game there. I feel bad for the kid, but
I don't.
Do your job.
I don't feel bad for any Clemson player.
That's fair.
Old Dabo can take what he's eating.
He needs to BYOK, bring his own kicker.
Yeah. All right, let's look at some Big 12 games, and then we'll kind of look around at the top 25. Cincinnati BYU. This is a 2-point line for Cincinnati on the road in Provo. I thought that was an interesting line.
Yeah, that's interesting for me too, because I think BYU is the better football team, to be honest with you.
I agree.
Cincinnati lost to Miami of Ohio.
Yes, they did.
Barely beat a Pittsburgh team. Yeah, BYU, I feel like, who went on the road at Arkansas, and Arkansas played LSU really close this last week. Arkansas, Sam Pittman's team looked pretty good against LSU. And LSU is not a bad football team, but yeah, I think the Cougs, in Provo, I don't know how the Cougs aren't favored, to be honest with you. Cincinnati's not great. Emory Jones turns the ball over like he's just gifting it to the other team half the time. So
it's not good.
No. And that's why Florida said, see ya.
Yeah.
And brought in Graham Mertz, and Graham Mertz has been really good for Florida. So, yeah, I would have thought this line would be at 3.5 for BYU is what I would have said it. But
yeah.
Maybe Cincinnati's folks are just putting the money towards it, and that's why it's gone this way. I don't know.
Interesting. Kansas, Texas, a ranked matchup this week. It opened at 19. This is a minus 16.5 for Texas. Total at 61. What are your thoughts here?
Give me Kansas to cover, but just barely, but with a touchdown at the end of the game. I think they'll be down 17 or a field goal, at the end of the game. Somehow they'll lose by 14. They'll lose by 2 touchdowns, but it won't be 16.5.
So Kansas will cover.
Yeah, Kansas will cover. Texas will win.
I agree. I think Kansas can keep it interesting with that offense.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll ever feel close.
Right.
But like a backdoor cover seems appropriate here.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking is you're down by 3 touchdowns or 3 scores, late. You score with 2 minutes left, and then you try an onside kick, don't get it, and Texas runs the clock out.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Baylor UCF. This is an interesting game. This is UCF's home opener in the Bounce House for the Big 12. The debut in the Bounce House. UCF minus 12.5.
Baylor stinks.
Baylor stinks, but they're a Big 12 program.
They're a Big 12 program with their leading passer in Sawyer Robertson, who's thrown 1 touchdown and 4 picks. I feel for the kid. He's a Lubbock kid. I want him to succeed. I really do.
Yeah.
Like, I really, 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 really want this kid to be good. Want him to stick. But he just hasn't looked great in his first couple appearances. And for that reason, and that reason only, McLean's been good for UCF. So UCF has to get this, and I think they win by 3 touchdowns, 2 touchdowns at the very least. So yeah, they'll cover.
Yeah, I think Baylor will cover too.
You think Baylor will cover?
Yeah,
I'm saying UCF's going to cover their 12.5. Yeah.
I think Baylor can keep it close.
Ooh. Not if you throw 2 more picks.
Yeah. I think Blake Shapen's supposed to be back.
Is he? That would help him.
Iowa State, Oklahoma. Oklahoma minus 20. And I would lay the points here.
Yeah, Iowa State, man. They're it's hard to, because this is the kind of game where Iowa State will play good in, though, Rob. Like, this is the kind of game where a Matt Campbell team always seems to surprise you, right? Like, they always seem to sneak up and find a way to win this game, or at least make it close. And everybody's like, oh man, maybe Iowa State's figuring some things out. Then the next week they go and get boat raced by whoever they're playing.
Yeah.
But yeah, and Oklahoma, remember, for Kansas and for Iowa State, it might be a good thing that Texas and Oklahoma are playing next week.
Yeah.
And we're already seeing a bunch of talk about the final Red River rivalry game in the Big 12. Obviously, it'll continue in the SEC, but it's the last year of it being in the Big 12. And so there's a lot of focus that's already shifted to that game. For Oklahoma, especially, people don't care about the Iowa State game. They're already talking about next week. Texas has to put a little bit more respect into Kansas, because Kansas is a lot better of a football team than Iowa State. But yeah, this is the kind of game Iowa State will sneak up and win, or sneak up and be in the game late, and something quirky will happen. The good thing for Oklahoma is it's in Norman. That's the best thing for them. But,
so Iowa State cover?
Oh man, yeah, give me Iowa State to cover. Let me go out on a limb and just say Iowa State to cover, just to be different.
All right. West Virginia, TCU minus 12.5. I really like this game. I think West Virginia is better than we thought. And I know Texas Tech played really poorly and they barely won. But I think West Virginia is better than we thought. And I think West Virginia can control the clock and control the ball game if Neil Brown stays out of his own way. Give me West Virginia to cover here. I think this could be a close game.
Yeah, I agree. Especially, I don't know if you're going to get Garrett Green back this week. Haven't heard anything. Have you? I mean, have you seen anything on the message boards or anything?
No,
from our near nation people? But yeah, I like West Virginia to cover this thing too, especially if it stays here at this 12.5. I just don't see TCU pulling away from them. You're right. I think it's a lot similar to what the Texas Tech game was last week. I really, really do. I think it goes a lot similar to what that game was. So give me the Mountaineers to cover. I'm this close to saying give me the Mountaineers to win. But I'm not there yet.
Yeah, I don't think TCU is as good as people say.
No.
But they're 3-1. Just like West Virginia.
Yeah.
Let's go to a 1-3 team. Texas Tech hosting Houston. The total 51. Tech favored by 8.5. What are your thoughts here?
Texas Tech is favored by 8.5. That's a lot for a team that hasn't proven that they can do a whole lot either.
I would say a lot of points.
If you told me I had to choose, I would say Houston covers, because I think Texas Tech's going to have to kick a field goal and win, or go into overtime and win again. I sure hope not, but it's just gone that way, and I don't see it changing anytime soon unless they've completely just figured this thing out. Yeah, I think this one's going to be a lot closer than what everybody thinks. Hopefully it's with the Red Raiders win, but you know, Dana Holgorsen, we talked about it yesterday. He's got to get a win here this week. It's a must win for Texas Tech. It's a even must win for Dana Holgorsen and his ball club. I mean, it's a must win for his football team just to have a chance to go bowling, just because of the rest of their schedule. But for Texas Tech, you have to win just so you can get back and get a little bit of momentum moving forward in the Big 12 schedule.
Yeah.
But for Houston, it's about saving their coach's job. It's about, you know, doing the things that they hope they could do here. And you know, I kind of want Donovan Smith to play well, but I kind of want him to throw a couple picks too.
Yeah. Yeah. Go for, 22 of 30, 300 yards, 3
A pick
touchdowns, and a pick 6. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be
Maybe
great.
a couple of them.
Yeah.
Like, just have an outstanding day beyond, like, 2 passes.
I would be okay with that.
I agree. I think Texas Tech can win this game. Will they? I don't know. I just don't know. I am lost on what Texas Tech is this year. I don't know what the offensive identity is. It's back and forth. Defensively, you've seemed really good, or at least pretty good. Held Oregon to 31, held Wyoming and West Virginia to 20 in regulation. Then he kind of ran out of steam against Wyoming, but that's what happens up at altitude. So I don't know. I don't know what to expect against Houston. I would take a Houston cover just because that's kind of the direction of the season. But I think Texas Tech can win. If I had to put a score on it, I'd be snug to the over, maybe like a 24-21. Oh, that's the under.
That's the under. Yeah, because you're laying down.
It's over 50, 51.
Yeah, 51.
Yeah. So there you go.
I'm going 31-28.
Okay.
Texas Tech.
Tech wins.
Houston covers. Texas Tech has to kick a field goal and win.
Hopefully you're up 31-21 and they score a touchdown late. You don't have to have theatrics.
I'd be cool with that. I'd be great with that.
Yeah.
That would be fantastic.
I don't need a last second field goal from Gio. He's been really good since he wasn't. Since
he lost the Wyoming game for you. Yeah. Yeah.
That's kind of harsh.
It's true though. If you make a couple field goals, you win the football game in regulation.
He made one that they took off the board, which I thought was bogus.
Yeah.
All right. There's our picks. Let's look at the top 25 real quick, just for fun.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you have the one that everybody's been talking about. Even though Colorado's not ranked in the top 25, USC goes to Colorado. It's one of those games where I think that we're going to learn a lot about USC and learn a lot that we already think we know about Colorado because they're not as good as everybody wants them to be.
Yeah.
They got exposed last week, especially their offensive line. Their offensive line is horrible.
I think we knew that.
We knew that. It just Colorado State exposed them a little bit because they had 6 sacks.
Yes.
One guy had 4.
Smart football people knew what Colorado was.
Right. And they just had the athletes more than Colorado State and TCU and Nebraska. Nebraska's not very good. But yeah, that matchup, I think USC goes in there. They're a 21.5 point favorite. I think USC covers that 21.5, to be honest with you. I think Caleb Williams just goes off and Lincoln just puts the pedal down and doesn't stop.
That's unlike Lincoln, but maybe.
I don't know, man. I think that he wants to these schools that have been in the Pac-12, and of course Lincoln, this is only his second year, obviously. Who cares? But USC has not inserted their dominance in the Pac-12. They did it some last year, but obviously losing to Utah was big, not being in the playoff. To put yourself at just right there in the top of that playoff category, especially with how good Washington has looked, because some people say Washington is the best team in the country right now.
Yeah.
Seen that a lot this week, actually, which I don't understand that because they've played an okay schedule, but Georgia's still the best team in the country.
Yeah.
USC's got a lot to, like, a chip on their shoulder to prove too. I think that they're one of the top 2, 3, 4 teams in the country this week and be deserving of a top 5 at least, and not number 8 in the country.
All right, let's go rapid fire here. Florida at Kentucky.
I want to take Kentucky so bad, but Florida's going to win.
I'll take Florida too. Georgia, Auburn. Georgia favored by 14.
Go Dogs.
I'll take Auburn to cover.
Ooh, sneaky cover, huh?
Yeah. Let's see. Any other good ones?
I mean, you have
this.
Yeah. Lane Kiffin needs to win a big game.
Yes, he does.
Give me Ole Miss.
Ooh, I'll take LSU.
Yeah, give me the Rebs. Hotty toddy.
Notre Dame Duke. 5.5 for the Irish.
The Golden Domers have to win, right? Like they need to win this football game to have a chance to go to a New Year's Six bowl because the playoff is out. Playoff is out now that you lost to Ohio State, unless Ohio State goes and runs the table, and that's your only loss.
Right.
But yeah, if you want any chance at making the playoff and that happening, then you have to kind of put a statement piece together against Duke on the road. Give me the Domers.
Okay, I want Notre Dame to win. Okay.
Well, that's an obvious answer for you, yeah.
But for the chaos of it, I want Duke to win.
How? Yeah, I mean,
Duke, Florida State, ACC championship game would be hilarious to me.
Wouldn't it? And then Duke wins and gets in the college football playoff.
Duke in the playoff would be hilarious to me.
Basketball school. Hey, I would love for Duke to win this game because then they play North Carolina State the next week, and then they go to Tallahassee. You could have a top 5, top 10. Obviously, it'll be a top 10 matchup.
Oh yeah.
If both teams win the next 2 weeks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think Notre Dame will win, but I hope Duke wins now, just so I can have that Florida State Duke game. Because Florida State's got Virginia Tech and Syracuse, and they'll win both of those. Because they're both in Tallahassee. They got 3 home games in a row.
Hey, Syracuse is sneaky.
Yeah, but Dino Babers on the road and as good as Dino Babers.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Okay, Siri.
No. I don't even know how that happens sometimes.
But yeah, Dino Babers is always good at home in the Carrier Dome. Not so good on the road.
Fair enough. They just have had a good start to the season.
They have. It's hard to not like Dino Babers' teams.
It is. It's hard not to like Dino Babers.
Yeah.
All right,
he was one of our candidates for the Tech job a few years ago before they hired Matt Wells.
He was. Before Matt Wells, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then he didn't do well the next couple of seasons.
No.
He was not on the list the next time going around. No. That's all I got. You got anything else?
No. That should do it. I mean, unless you wanted to go over NFL games, but.
There's just, I didn't feel like there was any. I have not liked any of the NFL boards, gambling boards.
I don't like NFL boards in general.
Like, I just didn't think there was any. Like, Patriots Cowboys is going to be a fine game. Dallas -6.5. I think Dallas can cover. Will they? I don't know, but they're better at home. They're better not in Arizona.
That's a fact.
The Chiefs going to go across country to the Jets.
The Jets stink.
Chiefs -9.5. I think they can cover too. Will they? I don't know.
Yeah, it's the second largest line in the NFL this week because San Francisco is a 14-point favorite over Arizona.
Yeah, and they'll cover. Arizona.
Yeah. Josh Dobbs will probably throw 3 picks this week and look incredibly awful.
Yeah, they'll turn.
It's not the Cowboys.
Yeah. Dolphins Bills probably the game of the week.
I like that one.
Buffalo -2.5. The total 53.5. I'll take the over.
Yeah.
Both
teams score points. I want the Dolphins to win. I kind of like this Tua Tagovailoa story. The young coaching staff of the Miami Dolphins making waves in the NFL, having a lot of success when they're not supposed to be having that much success.
Yeah.
So give me I like the Dolphins. Yeah.
Then you got Commanders Eagles. Eagles -8.
Yeah. The Eagles are going to win that game. And I think they cover by 8 too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody was trying to tell me the other day that the Chiefs made a big mistake by letting Eric Bieniemy go, and then they put up 40 against the Bears. And
yeah. Here's the thing. I mean, Bieniemy was a lot of what the Chiefs did, but Andy Reid's the one who called the plays.
Yeah.
So it's not like you lost your play
Approved,
caller.
he approved the plays.
Right.
So Bieniemy called the plays.
Yeah, whatever. I think there was a lot of Andy Reid saying that was the case just to help Eric get a job.
Oh yeah. Outside of Kansas City.
Outside of Kansas City, right?
Yeah.
Because he wasn't going to get the Kansas City job.
No.
Unless Andy Reid were to leave.
No.
Even then, I think Spagnuolo would have got the head coaching job over Eric Bieniemy.
I don't know. They probably would have gone outside.
Yeah, maybe. Doug Peterson.
Patrick Mahomes will pick the next coach.
It'd just be Patrick Mahomes.
It better not be Matt Nagy.
It'd probably be Cliff Kingsbury.
No. Cliff would win a Super Bowl, though.
Yeah, he would. And he'd look like a great football coach because he has Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and a good defense.
Yeah.
As long as he just kept everybody else the same, yeah. Yeah, I forgot Nagy's the quarterback's coach. What a fall right there. Go from head coach to a quarterback coach.
No, he's the offensive coordinator now.
Well, yeah, he's the offensive coordinator this year, obviously, but yeah.
So there you go. Chiefs, Jets, Cowboys, Patriots. It just wasn't a.
Nah. Bills, Dolphins, good game.
Yeah, excited for
everything else. Everything else can kind of just meh.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot of other games on here. I mean, Bengals, Titans, 2-1-2 teams that have dreams of being playoff teams.
Yeah. The Bengals need to figure it out.
They got to do something.
You got Vikings, Panthers, both 0-3. Somebody's going to win this week.
Yeah, I didn't see the Vikings starting out 0-3 for sure with Kirk Cousins, but their offensive line is bad.
So bad.
He seems like he's under pressure. I guarantee you they have the most quarterback pressures against this year over anybody else in the NFL.
Yeah, I would assume, yeah.
I don't know that Kirk Cousins can take too much more of that.
No.
I mean, if you watch that quarterback documentary on QB1 or whatever it was called on Netflix, he was beat to crap last year after the season. So Bucks Saints is a good one. That's an interdivision game right there too.
Yeah.
Both 2-1. So there's some good games, but yeah, the NFL is a little bit underwhelming this week. You're right.
Just this year, it seems like I just haven't been as much into the NFL as I was the last couple of seasons. I don't know.
I think you were into it until the Cowboys laid an egg last week against Arizona.
No, not really. I was into the Cowboys. I still am into the Cowboys season, but I don't know. I've watched both Cowboys games. I watched a Chiefs game, but I haven't watched outside of that this year much.
Yeah, I've watched the Monday Night Football game just because I like watching Peyton and Eli.
Maybe I watch Bills Bucks. Bills Buffs.
Bills Dolphins.
Buffs. Bills Dolphins. I don't know what I'm trying to
I'll definitely watch Bills Dolphins, that's for sure.
That seems like a great game.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt.
All right.
In Buffalo. Yep. That's all I got. Where are the Lubbock High Westerners at this week?
They're playing the bye. They won't lose.
Okay. It's a great week to be a Lubbock High Westerner.
Yes, it is.
The Lubbock Christian Eagles go on the road to Munster Sacred Heart, so that'll be a good one. Yeah.
Munster.
Big district game tomorrow.
Big district game.
Yeah.
All right. Well, go Eagles.
Yeah, go Eagles.
EAGLES Eagles. Did you see the lady? Did you see the Eagles put out the lady that was like ELGLEL Eagles?
No.
She like couldn't spell it.
Oh man, that's about as Philadelphia can get right there. Tell me you got sauce before and during the game without telling me.
Yeah, she was hilarious.
Oh man, that's good stuff.
All right, tonight the Gambling Gauchos. We took a night off last night. We'll be recording tonight, and then Monday the Rob Bro Show returns.
I'm sure y'all will preview the basketball schedules.
I'm sure.
Have y'all already done that? Yeah,
we have not done that yet.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about the basketball schedules then as well.
Yeah, and the new exhibition game.
Yes, with the Aggies. What are your thoughts on that charity game?
I like it. I love it. I want some more of it.
You want some more of it? I was about to say.
Yeah. I had to finish the lyric right there.
I had to.
But yeah, I think it's a great thing. And then obviously playing at the Super Pit in Denton, that'll get a ton of Tech alumni.
Oh yeah.
To be able to come watch you play. I think it'll be a good crowd for an exhibition game for sure.
Oh
I think it'll be really cool.
I've already seen a lot of people getting tickets to that.
Yeah, that'll be fun. It's one of those where I wish I could go to it really, if I have the time. So yeah, I like it.
Somebody won $860 million.
What? Oh, the Powerball.
Yeah, they drew it. That must be nice.
Darn. I wish I would have bought a ticket.
I know, right?
I always say I want to win the lottery and then I never buy a ticket.
No, I've never. Well, I bought it once when it was like $1 billion.
Yeah, that's fair.
Bought a couple of them.
Yeah.
Anyways. All right. See you Monday.
All right. Peace.